At -71 degrees, the mountains of Yakutia do not simply exist, they endure. Beneath the frozen glacier, a pulse begins to glow faint and steady, like a hidden heart. An old nomad walks toward a crack in the ice that was never there before. The storm howls around him, but something deeper is waking far below the surface of the ancient frozen earth tonight. The fissure spills cyan light into the storm like a signal from another age. Snow spirals violently through the opening as the nomad approaches with slow, deliberate steps. Behind him, the husky stiffens, sensing movement beneath layers of ice. The glacier hums softly under their boots, a vibration too deep and too steady to be caused by wind alone in this frozen night. Inside the glacier, cathedral towers of crystal rise like frozen pillars carved by time itself. The air feels heavy, ancient, and alive. A faint, fragile sound echoes through the chamber. A young leopard cub lies trapped beneath cracked, translucent ice, its breath shallow in the brutal cold of -71 degrees. Without hesitation, the nomad kneels, breaking the thin crystal slab with careful, steady strikes. Frost forms along his gloves as cyan light flickers brighter beneath the floor. The cub trembles, weak but alive. Then the entire chamber begins to shake as something immense shifts beneath the frozen surface below them. The ice fractures violently and a colossal titan rises from the depths. 900 kilograms of living glacier crystal, an ancient frost tower above the cathedral floor. Veins of cyan energy pulse beneath translucent armor as pale blue eyes ignite in silence. The husky steps forward, body tense, placing itself between the cub and the towering guardian. The nomad remains still, holding the fragile animal close to his chest. The titan lowers its massive head, studying them without aggression, only watchful power contained within its frozen form. Beneath the shattered floor, a glowing heart of crystal pulses brighter, sending veins of light across the chamber walls. The titan kneels slowly before placing one enormous crystalline palm above the radiant core. The trembling of the glacier begins to change. Cracks in the frozen floor begin sealing as if stitched by invisible force. Ice knits itself together under ancient power. The cub's breathing steadies, and the cyan glow softens from warning to recognition. This was never a hunt, but protection. The nomad understands now that the titan is not a monster, but a guardian of sacred ground. The cub wandered into a chamber preserved for centuries beneath frozen silence. The husky lowers its growl, yet keeps watch. The titan rises slowly and steps aside, opening a narrow corridor through the frozen cathedral. Its massive crystalline frame glows faintly as the cyan pulse steadies beneath the ice. The nomad retreats without turning his back, holding the cub close against his coat. The husky moves beside him, alert but silent. As ancient frost settles and the glacier seals its sacred chamber once more. Outside the cathedral, the storm still rages, unaware of what has awakened and returned to silence beneath the glacier. Snow sweeps violently across the mountains as the fissure slowly collapses inward. Cyan light fades beneath thickening layers of ice, sealing the ancient chamber from the world above. The nomad walks carefully into the blizzard, each step deliberate, carrying the cub close while the husky scans the white horizon for danger ahead. The wind tears across the open glacier as dawn begins to break faintly behind the storm clouds. Pale light spills across the frozen peaks, washing the world in cold silver. The nomad does not look back, though he feels the weight of what he has witnessed beneath the ice. The cub stirs weakly against his coat, its breath steadier now. Behind them, the glacier stands silent and smooth, hiding the Titan once more beneath layers of ancient frozen stone. The husky leads across the windswept ridge, paws cutting clean lines through fresh snow before the storm begins to erase them. The nomad follows steadily, shoulders bent against the cold, the cub wrapped close for warmth. Far below, unseen beneath miles of glacier, a faint pulse continues like a distant heartbeat. The mountains appear empty, untouched, but something ancient remains awake beneath their frozen silence, watching the world above with endless patience. Morning light spreads slowly across the Yakutian horizon, turning the endless snowfields pale gold beneath the fading storm. The nomad pauses on a ridge, breath rising in steady clouds as he adjusts the cub against his chest. The husky stands beside him, scanning the distance with quiet vigilance. Beneath the glacier far behind them, the Titan has already returned to stillness, merging with crystal walls as if it had never moved at all. The glacier behind them now appears untouched, a seamless expanse of frozen white stretching beyond the mountains. No fissure remains, no glow beneath the surface, only silence hardened by endless winters. The nomad continues forward with measured steps, knowing some truths are not meant to be spoken. The husky moves close at his side, and the rescued cub sleeps more peacefully, unaware that an ancient guardian still keeps watch below. The wind softens as the valley opens ahead, revealing a vast frozen plain bathed in cold morning light. Snow drifts in slow spirals across the surface, erasing the last traces of their passage. The nomad tightens his coat around the cub and walks on without hesitation. The husky glances once toward the distant glacier before facing forward again. Deep beneath the ice, the Titan's faint pulse endures, steady and eternal. Across the silent expanse, the mountains stand like frozen sentinels, their peaks carved by centuries of relentless wind. The nomad descends carefully toward lower ground, boots pressing into untouched snow that sparkles beneath the pale sun. The husky keeps pace, ears tuned to distant echoes carried through the air. Far beneath layers of ancient crystal, the Titan rests once more, its presence woven into the glacier itself. The sky clears gradually, revealing a wide Arctic horizon untouched by human trace. The nomad moves with quiet endurance, his shadow stretching long across the frozen plain. The cub shifts gently in his arms, stronger with each breath of cold air. The husky walks ahead, guiding the path through drifting snow. Behind them, The glacier keeps its secret, and the Titan remains hidden, bound to ice and silence. By midday, the storm has fully retreated, leaving only a vast and shining silence across the Yakutian wilderness. The nomad walks steadily toward distant shelter, each breath measured against the biting air. The husky moves with quiet purpose, never straying far. The cub sleeps, wrapped in warmth. Beneath miles of frozen stone, the Titan endures unseen, a guardian bound to ancient ice and eternal patience. As the sun lowers behind distant peaks, the frozen land returns to stillness once more. The nomad and his loyal husky disappear slowly into the endless white, their figures growing small against the immense Arctic horizon. The rescued cub rests safely, unaware of the power that watched over it. Beneath the glacier, in chambers no light can reach, the Titan remains awake, waiting in silence for the ice to tremble again.